stage. I happen to be one of the partners that manages our later and growth stage investing.
I'm Thorsten. I'm a partner at T-Venture, the corporate venture capital arm of Deutsche Telekom, founded in '97. We do anything from early stage price seed rounds to very late mezzanine deals, and everything that has to do with telecommunications. Our mothership is Deutsche Telekom, as I just mentioned. A small subsidiary of that might be known to you as T-Mobile. And I'm specifically focusing on infrastructure, B2B, and enterprise, which is, by the way, very social, as you might find.
My name is Knoll, the founder of Clipper, but I'm also a mentor at 500 Startups, which has invested in almost 500 startups. And then one of the companies that I co-founded and now advise is called launchrock.com, and I kind of always said that I get to kind of be an armchair investor, because we see hundreds of thousands of startups get their start on our site and see their one-page pitch deck, so I learned a lot that way.
Great, so let's jump right in. And my first question to you guys, in any random order, is what's cliche at this point? What are you guys seeing that's coming in where people are saying, oh, I have the next best thing, and it's just like, actually, really, you're number 17 today that I have to talk to. So
social network.
Well, social network, that's too easy for me. So you're saying, okay, but let's dig in a little bit. So competing social networks, like the next MySpace, oddly no joke intended.
I'd almost turn around what is really on the bleeding edge and what's not. I'm seeing wearable computer sensors, big and weird databases, new database technology. Social network is important because the number of tweets and the number of Facebook messages is still doubling every month. It's going to be 1 billion tweets a day shortly. And then the amount of location data is going up exponentially as well. And that lets everybody play on top of that. But if you just pitch me a social network, I go to sleep.
I would say generally ad networks. A lot of the businesses that we see are ad supported, certainly in the consumer space. I think a lot of the ad dollars has really started to flow towards the big platforms directly, whereas in the past, in the kind of the first generation of online and digital advertising, a lot of the dollars flowed through intermediaries because they could give you reach. The platforms are so much bigger now, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Tumblrs, so forth, and others on the enterprise side, that they can just get you scale and reach, and they've built the tools so that they don't need as many intermediaries helping them monetize their audience.
So I think on the pitch side, I see overrated second screen applications that go nowhere in the VC world, that are very good lifestyle companies, but not VC fundable.
So let me ask you, mean second screen from a viewing and consumption of media perspective?
Correct. You consume media on a TV screen or on your iPad, and then you have the second screen somewhere else where you actually have additional data or information or gaming or anything on there.
Yeah, I refer to those as ADDD.
Yes.
And it's not more distraction.
It's not to say that there are not really good companies out there. We invested in one of them, of course, which is Quarter. But what I'm saying is there are people coming in who say, oh, I've got this next big thing, and it's like, and then I say, what's your background? Have you done that? Do you know about life cycle? Do you know anyone in the ad industry? Do you have content owners who sign on to that? You know, so, and then but I'm a good UI designer, and that's not it. And I think the second thing on the VC side, which is overrated, is that consumer business is dead. I see a lot of people saying, oh, we all should all go into enterprise, no consumer apps, anymore. It's like, it's such a dead business. It's just, it's not a noise. You have to cut through the noise. That's all it is, essentially.
Yeah, I'm tracking 2,400 startups on a Facebook list that you can subscribe to, and the noise is extraordinary.
Yeah.
So breaking through that.
Yeah, exactly, but not to say that there are not good startups out there.
But at this point, every single idea is cliche, and there are 17 other ones all doing exactly the same thing. I think it does come down to the team, though, and the ability to build solid, real relationships with customers, the things that people, you can't just get an engineer to scale the ability to give a shit about the relationship with your customer. Danielle Morrill just wrote a post about an experience she had with the A/B testing app that it was just unbelievable that a company could treat a potential customer that way. And then whenever she wrote this big post, so kind of just copying and pasting the tweets onto defensive and mad and angry. And it's like, you don't get to just treat the public like crap and expect that they're all just going to convert to be your customers. You actually have to care about the people who are going to use your product.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that that's something that's a lot of companies haven't fully figured out yet, because I would say not a week goes by that there's some flame out from fairly large companies where their whole customer service interaction, they didn't realize that, oh, well, I'm going to save this, or I'm going to make a blog post out of it, or I'm going to tweet a copy of what you're sending out, and it just ends.
And even Apple Computer, which is one of the best in the industry, I had problems with my credit card, and they would give me a stupid ass answer on the phone, and I tweeted it. I wrote a blog post while I was on hold.
So efficient.
I was on hold for 20 minutes. I can write a lot of words in 20 minutes.
Did you retract what you said when they got back to you?
No, because they were idiots. It's still broken, by the way. There are things even at the best companies that are broken, and they need to.
Yeah, because we're so excited in the marketplace that the cost of entry into doing startups, like on one hand it's really exciting that the barrier to entry has gotten really low. That also means that any idiot can start a company, and
have been doing so for years, actually.
Yeah, but it's even easier now.
But there are some trends here at the Consumer Electronics Show that are really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what the investors think of. I just saw Leap Motion and PrimeSense that are making 3D sensors to do things. PrimeSense makes the Microsoft Kinect sensor, or they licensed it to Microsoft. And now that sensor is, instead of $200 and instead of being this big, is a stick of chewing gum, and it's very thin, and it's $60, right? That trend means investors start getting hot and bothered because it opens up new opportunities. There's a new startup that's putting these things, the Kinect sensors, into Walmart to watch our shopping behavior, right?
That's all nice and good, right? And we have many ideas, and everyone who took a shower in the morning had a lot of ideas, right? The question is, can you step out of the shower and execute on it, right? And moreover than not, like starting is really cheap, but succeeding is really expensive. And I think that's what we see, the A-round crunch that's written about a lot right now.
Is that real?
No, it's not.
So back up and define what you're talking about, please.
Yeah, because not everybody reads Pando Daily and TechCrunch, right?
Oh, God, no. So I don't read TechCrunch anymore, so anyway,
Oh, that sounds good. But anyway,
we go off on that later.
What is the Series A crunch?
So the Series A crunch means that there are a lot of companies who get seed funding, maybe even a prize round, and then they try to raise an A round, the next round of funding, and no one wants them. For some reason, they can't get anything to stick. They go from, VC to VC to angel, they end up with us, the poor corporates, as the last straw. So I see a lot of interesting pitches. So to pitch for branded cookies, and I mean the ones to eat, So like, really, Deutsche Telekom, branded, like cookies, yes, but not these guys. And we see a lot of startups who really struggle to find this additional funding for the next round because their executive team is not up to speed, their platform is not performing, they have no clue what the intellectual property situation looks like, they don't have any sales idea or channel organization. They show me like a business case with an 80% net profit margin, and then I look at a comparable company, and like a Google, right, which was a long-time market leader with 30% after, that was before they acquired Controller. And I think that's not really real. We saw one company in 12 years that has a really, really good net profit margin. You're telling me you're going to outperform all of these by a factor 2, really? I mean, keep it real, and it shows the lack of experience sometimes in the founder, and then they won't find money.
So I think the question, though, you asked is it really different today, right? So it's less expensive to start companies, but it's really hard to scale businesses, right? And so I think that's where you see this so-called crunch come in, whether it's an early stage or a later stage. Has a company achieved enough scale to warrant additional capital to pursue its business plan, right? Because these companies that we invest in, they're generally not profitable. They raise money from folks like us because they need to fuel the growth in their business. Yeah. There is always going to be some long tail of startups that are not getting the traction that's going to attract institutional capital.
There's a great example out on the CES floor at GoPro. They have a huge booth right where Microsoft's old booth used to be. They were started 200 yards from my house with less than $10,000, no capital for at least 6 years, I think. He started with his mom's sewing machine, sent a prototype over to China, had it built, got adoption, got a brand, built coolness, built a distribution network into Best Buy and other things. Then he took capital, right?
Yeah,
and then he took
that's
capital again just last
And by the way,
week.
who would have thought, even a few years ago, that